All right, first up, brake job. This particular car is a 13 Hyundai Elantra, but just wanted to give people a view of what brakes look like before and what brakes look like after. You can see that the pads are a lot thicker. You got a nice new rotor over there, nice new caliper, and we also have a view of it all finished on the car. And then we'll get to the rear brakes, which is going to look very similar. Only the rear brakes usually have a parking brake system attached to it. Some of them are electronic. This one isn't. But just in case you've never seen brakes before, we also repaired the exhaust on this vehicle. There was a gasket leaking over there, and there's the new gasket with all the new bolts, and the vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is an 18 Hyundai Santa Fe. First time customer, and unfortunately some very bad news. So it came in with a flashing check engine light, a shaking engine. It had an obvious misfire, and we did a compression test. Now this is one of the cylinders that is not misfiring. This is good compression. And now this is the one that is misfiring. This is bad compression. So the next thing we did was we put a camera down the spark plug hole, and we can turn the camera around while it's in there and look up at the valves. This is an amazing tool. Every single shop should have this. And you're going to see that there is a burnt exhaust valve, and that's why there's no compression. So big repair on this one. All right, next up is an '04 Ford F-150. Customer brought us their running boards. This is just a video of the old running boards. They're almost ready to fall off the truck. They were so rotted. We're going to get under there in a second and show you. So they attach to the vehicle with 8 bolts, and where they attach is what rots out. These things can fall off. The last thing you wanted to have one of these fall off on the highway. But here is the video of the finished job. They're the same ones that were on it. Another happy customer, and the vehicle is back on the road. All right, next up is an 18 Honda Civic. Just came to us for an oil change and rear brakes. Wanted to show you how you do need to use a scan tool to do rear brakes on most newer cars that have electric parking brake, which they all do now. You need to put the vehicle in brake pad replacement mode, keep the battery on the charger, and then use the scan tool when you're all done. These are the old brakes, and I love how neat my guys are. They're the ones who are filming most of this stuff. I just do the editing. They lay everything out nice and neat. Here's the finished product, and back on the road. All right, next up is an '08 Toyota Tacoma. Came in for what they thought was a power steering problem, but it was actually this lower steering shaft. That little universal joint right there seizes up because, of course, we live in the Northeast, and it causes the steering to be tight and loose, tight and loose, tight and loose, and everyone thinks it's a power steering issue. It just needs one of these shafts. We only get them from Toyota. They're in a tough spot, and of course, all the bolts are rusted. But we had it fixed same day, and it is back on the road. All right, next up is a 12 Fiat 500, first time customer. And it came to us for a check engine light with a whole bunch of codes, a bunch of evap codes, a bunch of lean codes. So this purge valve underneath the hood gets stuck open. Not only does it cause a bunch of evap codes, but it also causes a bunch of engine running lean code and all that stuff. You may think it's a vacuum leak, and it is. It's an internal vacuum leak. It's very difficult to find, but they're pretty popular. It's pretty much the same valve that fails on a lot of Chrysler vehicles. And then this in the back of the car is called the EVAP Integrity Monitor. We probably replaced 500 of these things. These are common in Jeeps, Chrysler vehicles. Fiat and Chrysler share a lot of the same stuff. And here's the new one next to the old one. We always get everything from the dealer. And everything was done same day once we got the go-ahead. And this is a little tiny, tiny, tiny little car. We can barely fit in it, but cute little thing. Either way, everything went back together good. We ran an evap test with the scanner, and it is back on the road.